We have a line of thunderstorms, a broken line that's moving across the viewing area. Much of that is moving on into our northeastern counties. We'll talk about what is left for the rest of the day today.
And we are following two developing stories this morning. A man is dead after a shooting in Zebulon. In Durham, police are investigating two shootings in the McDougal Terrace neighborhood, one of them deadly.
Plus, this is Thanksgiving tradition taking over Raleigh this morning, the annual turkey trot. We have all the excitement as runners get ready to hit the pavement there. And as they get their stretch on and a little bit of exercise on before this big Thanksgiving day, there are several different locations, turkey trots all around our area. And some of them have some wet pavement that they'll be running on this morning for certain. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Happy Thanksgiving. Like Jeff said, a lot of you might be heading out to the turkey trots. Take the umbrella with you. But you're not going to need it for that long because Elizabeth Gardner just said these storms are moving pretty quickly.
They are. So we heard from folks up in Wake Forest that they went on a 30-minute delay, and that happened just a little while ago. These storms are moving really fast. Notice how that's moving well away from Wake County right now. There's another cell that was in Fayetteville. It's really fizzling out as it moves over into the southern part of our viewing area down around Sampson County. We'll start here just northeast of Lewisburg. We still have just a little bit of activity here, also over Red Oak in Nash County. Tiny little cells there, but producing some brief heavy rain and some lightning. You'll hear that as it comes through. But now we're looking at just some isolated showers. Watch what happens, at least on Futurecast. Once we get closer to, say, 9 o'clock, there is the potential for an isolated shower. It is likely to be breezy. There could be a little more development in our southeastern counties a little bit later on this morning. The cold front itself won't come through until about 1 or 2 in the afternoon, and you could see a little bit of rain there, but not really looking at much chance of any severe weather. This is a look at the big picture. Cold front still well to our west. We're looking at the line of thunderstorms looking a little more beefy down across South Carolina and down into Georgia and Alabama. And this is new, just happened about 10 minutes ago. The Storm Prediction Center took the Triangle area out of our level 1 risk for severe storms, but if you're in Fayetteville, Goldsboro, or Clinton, you're still under that threat until the front moves through later on today. Taking a look at Chapel Hill, it is wet out there, 62 is our temperature. The winds are still blustery, even though that line of thunderstorms has moved through the triangle. Our temperature this afternoon in the mid-60s. We should see a little sunshine later today. We'll talk more about what comes after that when it turns really cold coming up.
All right, thanks, Elizabeth. Breaking news in Zebulon this morning. Police are on the scene of a shooting that killed a man. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is on West Barbie Street. And Kelsey, the shooting happened just before 1:30 this morning. What else do we know?
Michelle, police say 55-year-old Robert Cummings was shot in this neighborhood here. And I spoke with his mother and his son, and they say that they have a lot of family members that live here in this neighborhood. So I'll step out the way so you can take a closer look now at this active scene that's been really active here for several hours now. So that family says that he was shot here in his uncle's front yard. So you may be able to see a couple of tents set up here. Investigators put up those tents about 2 hours ago, and there's still a heavy police presence here on West Barbie Street. Now, police say they found Cummings on the property after he was shot and took him to the hospital where he later died. His mother, Cora Cummings, lives across the street from where the shooting happened, and she says she heard the gunshots in the middle of the night.
I heard 2 shots, and I heard somebody say, I said, that sounds just like Robert.
And right now we're asking police if they have an update on the search for that shooter. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Zebulon.
Another story we followed in the overnight hours. A man is dead after a shooting in Durham. The second shooting to happen near the McDougal Terrace community in less than a 5-hour span. It happened at 10:45 last night in the 1200 block of East Lawson Avenue. Durham police say they found a man who had several gunshot wounds and he died at the scene. Police say they are still investigating what led up to that shooting. There was also another shooting last night on Ridgeway Avenue. One man had serious injuries at that scene just steps away from where the first person died, and police have not said if those crimes are connected.
And a motorcyclist is dead after being hit by a car along Rayford Road in Fayetteville. Police say it happened near the intersection of Strickland Bridge Road just after 7 o'clock last night. It's not clear if the driver will face any charges. We are working to find out what led up to that crash.
Police are looking for a man accused of stealing prescription medication from a Walgreens in Clayton. Now, Clayton police sent us these surveillance photos you see right here. That's who they believe is the suspect right there. They say he went into the pharmacy on 70 business, passed a note to the teller demanding prescription medications, and also showed a gun. He was able to get away with more than 1,000 doses. No money was taken, though. If you know who this is, you're asked to call Clayton police.
Today, Durham Rescue Mission will host its 50th annual Thanksgiving community dinner. More than 200 turkeys will be served to people in need, with doors opening in 2 hours, 11 o'clock this morning. This is video of the volunteers getting the cooking started last night. People who show up today will enjoy a free hot turkey dinner, carnival games for kids, a grocery bag to take home, and a special ticket drawing for prizes. The Rescue Mission is still requesting any volunteers to reach out and offer their time this morning. And another Thanksgiving tradition for many, the turkey trot. Many are lacing up their shoes. We are expecting a big turnout for runners in Raleigh this morning. This is video from last year. The nearly 5-mile course will bring runners down Ridge Road and back. A portion of the road between Wade Avenue and Leonard Street will be closed. Parking is available at Meredith College.
I'm Eric Miller in the WRAL Live Center. Well, despite the rain we're seeing out there today, if you're trying to hit the road or maybe catch a flight, things are looking pretty good. Taking a look at the traffic map here this morning, there's one crash we're keeping our eyes on. That's over by the Beltline and Capitol Boulevard. We're not seeing any major backups there, though. It's pretty much looking like this view right here from I-87 and Edgemont Road. A few folks out there, but not too busy. Same deal as we take a look at the misery map here today. A couple of delays and cancellations across the country. Boston with some of the heavier weather there, more impacted, seeing about 8 delays there. But here at RDU, only 3 delays so far. Not too bad if you're trying to catch a flight this Thanksgiving morning.
Not bad. All right. Thanks, Eric. Well, if you're trying to get that last minute shopping in, you do have some options. Food Lion and Harris Teeter are open today, but they will close early this afternoon, so go soon. If you need to go to a drugstore, you can look up your nearest CVS or Walgreens online. Check for that specific store's hours. Thanksgiving Day hours will vary based on location. And this list of stores on your screen are closed all day today. Walmart, Costco, Sam's Club, and Trader Joe's, just a few on that list. For more information about where you can shop today, go to WRAL.com. And we have NFL games on Fox 50 and WRAL for Thanksgiving at 4:30 right here on Fox 50. It's the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. And then at 8 o'clock over on WRAL, you can catch the Miami Dolphins and the Green Bay Packers.
Coming up on 8:08 on your Thanksgiving Thursday morning. Still ahead, several bomb threats made against President-elect Donald Trump's cabinet nominees. What we are learning about the FBI's investigation.
And before you prepare today's big meal, you'll want to watch out for illnesses linked to recalled foods. We'll go over a few items you should be aware of next.
And watching Dual Doppler 5000 radar, we have a thunderstorm that is moving up the northern part of the I-95 corridor. Behind that, we're just looking at some scattered showers. I'll walk through Futurecast to show you what to expect for the rest of the day.
It is 8:11 right now as you take this live look in Lewisburg. Yes, wet roads, clouds are hanging. It is raining. See rain on the camera right there. Good morning to you folks right there. And not alone in some of the places that we have seen around our camera network here. Elizabeth Gardner with that proof, and we're getting the ground proof from these pictures.
So it is messy out there this morning, that is for sure. We had just a broken line of some scattered storms come through where we had heavy rain and it was loud with a lot of lightning. But that is mainly out of the viewing area. At this point, we still have a few scattered showers in a few places, and we are still holding on to just this tiny little cell here that's moving up toward infield, going to be moving on up here toward Halifax County and Northampton County. A lot of lightning with this, some really brief heavy rain. This cell is moving very quickly, so we'll give it another probably 30 minutes and it will have moved all the way up into Virginia. We also had a cell here in Fayetteville producing a lot of lightning. It has weakened considerably. It's down to just a few showers showers, no more lightning associated with that. This is going to be our best chance of severe thunderstorms all day long. The Storm Prediction Center has taken the Triangle area out of that severe weather threat, but we will see the front moving through closer to lunchtime, early afternoon, and there's a very small chance that from Goldsboro to Fayetteville to Clinton, we could see an isolated wind gust that's strong enough to do some damage. You can see nothing really happening once we get past a few showers. Give it another hour or so, but then the cold front itself could produce an isolated shower. Here's how things look out there. As we take it on out to around 9 o'clock, we may be dealing with a lingering shower. It's probably going to be breezy for us this afternoon. And then watch what happens here at 11. Still maybe a lingering shower in Goldsboro. Once we get into the afternoon, again, here's 2 o'clock. This is a newer run of the model. Really not seeing a line forming up along that front. So I think we're going to be pretty good to go for the most part once we get past around 9 o'clock or so. In Fayetteville, it is wet, still a bit rainy and drizzly there in Apex, wet in Chapel Hill and in Raleigh. So a lot of folks, almost everybody ended up seeing some rain this morning. I mean, if you haven't seen it in the eastern part of the viewing area, it's coming your way. Once this moves out tonight, the temperatures really start to fall. If you're going to be shopping on Friday, heading out to pick out your tree, it's going to be a chilly day. Lots of sunshine, a little breezy, and 55. Saturday and Sunday, upper 40s to low 50s. Morning lows are going to be dropping down closer to freezing and then into the 20s. Look at this cold air that has its source up into Canada. That's going to drop in on us late in the weekend and stick around for much of next week. So officially, December begins winter meteorologically, and we are going to kick it off with some really cold temperatures for the first week of December. We take a look at, again, Saturday and Sunday, looking nice and dry. There's a tiny chance of a shower during the afternoon on Sunday with that 51. But look at that. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday morning, all in the 20s. So our coats are going to get a workout. We're excited on Wednesday. See the tower here? We do have our tower lighting special. It is going to feel nice and brisk for that, for sure.
Yes, it will. All right. Thanks, Elizabeth. Well, the recount for a state Supreme Court seat is still going nearly 3 weeks since the election. And the race pits incumbent Democrat Allison Riggs against Republican challenger Jefferson Griffin. On election night, Griffin was leading, but after provisional ballots were counted, Riggs took a small lead. Griffin requested a recount as the law allows, and that started last week. A few counties still have not finished counting, and final totals are not expected until Monday.
The FBI is investigating several bomb threats and swatting attempts against President-elect Donald Trump's administration nominees, his cabinet picks. The threats happened between Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. Law enforcement officials say the threats were deemed not credible, and some may have come in over social media. It's not clear exactly who was targeted, but we do know the threats did not involve Mr. Trump or Vice President-elect J.D. Vance. Sean Diddy Combs will spend Thanksgiving in prison. A New York judge denied his third request for bail during a hearing yesterday. The judge said there is no condition that would reasonably assure the safety of the community if he was released. Prosecutors accused the music mogul of witness tampering from behind bars. This also comes after a ruling last week that prosecutors could not use letters taken from his jail cell during a raid. His attorney said it violated his rights.
Thousands of people in Lebanon are returning to their homes as a ceasefire is now in place between Israel and Hezbollah. The deal calls for a 60-day stop in fighting, and under the deal, Israel's military must withdraw from Lebanon. Hezbollah must move farther north. Lebanon's army and UN peacekeepers say they will create a buffer zone near the border. If the ceasefire holds, it would bring an end to nearly 14 months of fighting. And contractors began restoring a road leading to Lebanon's main border crossing with Syria after the truce between Israel and Hezbollah came into force Wednesday. The Mansa border crossing was the primary route for thousands of people fleeing the war before it was destroyed by Israeli shelling last month.
This Thanksgiving, gratitude may come a little easier for families of 3 detained Americans. They're free now after a prison swap with Beijing secured their release yesterday. Amy Kiley reports their newfound freedom was years in the making.
This was a concerted effort to bring these Americans home.
3 Americans detained in China for years will spend Thanksgiving on U.S. soil after a prisoner exchange. They're Mark Sweden Kiley and John Young.
Their families are overjoyed, obviously, at the fact that they're going to see their loved ones as the Thanksgiving holiday is coming around.
The swap follows extensive diplomacy.
My understanding is basically every meeting between the Chinese and the U.S., this was brought up.
The State Department says Li and Sweden were wrongfully detained. Li is free after about 8 years in prison.
Never would we have imagined in our wildest dreams that he'd be whisked away by agents of China's Ministry of State Security on these charges of espionage.
His son is thanking government officials and NGOs for bringing his father home for the holidays. Sweden's mother, Catherine, lives in Texas. Republican Senator Ted Cruz represents that state and is praising the work to help his constituent son. Liang is known to have spent time with Chinese officials and was serving a life sentence for spying charges.
They are heading to Texas, where we've seen a number of Americans who had been formerly detained go and participate in a program to help them reacclimate to their normal lives.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
And the U.S. has also eased its travel advisory for China. It's now at a level 2, which suggests Americans exercise increased caution when on that mainland. People in South Korea woke up to this, a winter record this week of snowfall as it blanketed the city of Seoul. People there bundled up in their thick coats. They threw snowballs, built snowmen, and played in that snow. Transportation services took a hit, though. More than 150 flights were canceled or delayed across that country. Ferry services were also restricted, and the slippery roads there resulted in several multi-car pileups in the capital city.
Before you prepare today's big meal, you'll want to watch out for illnesses linked to recalled foods. Here are a few of the items listed by the FDA. Grimway Farms organic carrots, which the CDC linked to an E. coli outbreak in several states. The USDA also recalled more than 167,000 pounds worth of ground beef products by Wolverine Packing Company, also linked it to possible E. coli contamination. And Professor Don Schaffner, a food scientist at Rutgers University, aims to put diners at ease ahead of today's feast.
Realize that most of the food that most of us eat most every day is not going to be unsafe, and you of course do the things that you can do that are under your own control. Pay attention to the news, check to make sure any of the ingredients or the foods that you're cooking are not part of a recall.
Yeah, and they say as long as you cook meat at proper temperature and keep raw meat separate from produce and cooked foods, feel free to relax and just enjoy your meal.
Side dishes can be a way to get creative on Thanksgiving, right? But a restaurant in New York is featuring quite an extravagant side here. This may look like just regular old cranberry sauce, but it'll set you back as much as a full 3-course dinner for a group of people. Just one dollop of that side, $195. It is served at the Old Homestead Steakhouse in the Meatpacking District in New York City. And what makes it so pricey? White truffle shavings that cost $1,500 a pound, as well as edible 24-karat gold flakes, plus Manuka honey from New Zealand costs $100 a pound. And Michelle was asking, what is it, made of gold or something?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. Movie and TV news now with David Daniel in today's Hollywood Minute.
Excuse me, sir. Is this boat for hire?
It is your lucky day.
Paddington in Peru has found a new day to arrive in the U.S. Sony has moved the release of the third Paddington pick from January 17th to February 14th. That's not just Valentine's Day, but also the start of President's Day weekend.
They're a blast.
Desperate Housewives creator Mark Cherry is thinking reboot, but don't expect to see any familiar faces from the long-running series. Cherry tells People magazine he'd like to return to Wisteria Lane, but in an earlier time, like the 1960s.
I had to make multiple decisions.
Dune director Denis Villeneuve has made a decision about another sci-fi franchise. He says he has no interest in directing a Star Wars movie. On the Town podcast, Villeneuve said he was a huge fan of the first 2 Star Wars films as a kid, but Return of the Jedi made him angry. He says it turned out to be a comedy for kids.
Let's get out of here.
In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Getting ready for the holidays. This week, the town's electric and public works department has been busy getting downtown ready for Christmas. They put up decorations on utility poles throughout the town. And next Thursday, Clayton will hold a celebration to light the Christmas tree downtown. And then December 14th, the town will hold its annual Christmas parade.
If you want to give back this holiday season, you can donate a coat to a child in need during WRAL's annual Coats for the Children campaign. We encourage you to donate new or gently used coats, hats, sweatshirts, or other warm clothing to support families in need. For a list of neighborhood Jiffy Lube drop-off sites or to make online financial donations, you can go to WRAL.com/coats.
The 8th annual Thanksgiving Day 5K in Garner will raise money for rescue dogs. About 1,000 people are expected to take on this run, hosted by Freedom Ride Rescue. The rescue takes dogs out of shelters and into adoptive homes or foster families. This run is their largest fundraiser of the year and goes to pre-adoption vet needs. The run starts at Garner's White Deer Park at 8:30 this morning.
It's 8:23 right now. Amazon workers are thinking about a strike, the action they're planning on taking, and how it could affect your Black Friday shopping. That's next.
And it's that time again, the turkey trot taking over Raleigh. Here's a live look right there. The excitement building. Couple people out there that got their hoods on, braving the rain. Monica Casey is out there. We'll have a report from her coming up next.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning and happy Thanksgiving. Time now is 8:26. I'm Michelle McConaughey. Lots of people out and about getting their last minute Thanksgiving needs. Turkey trots going on, and we are seeing some rain, Elizabeth.
We are. Take a look here. Just some isolated showers around the triangle at this point. We did have a cell that produced a lot of heavy rain and lightning. It's weakened considerably. It's here just to the northeast of Enfield here in Halifax County, moving on up into Northampton County. And then that's looking like about it. The Storm Prediction Center took the triangle area out of the level 1 risk for severe storms. The cold front will come through right around lunchtime, early afternoon. And I guess there's still a slim chance that there could be some stronger storms there. It's messy out there though right now. This last little batch of rain coming through, producing some rain showing up there in North Hills. And we take a look here at Durham. It's fairly wet. Some rain falling in Raleigh, and Fayetteville's looking a little drier at this point. Temperatures are in the low to mid 60s, so it's warm out there. We'll continue to see our chance for rain falling as we get through the next several hours. This afternoon, we'll see a little bit of sunshine. High temperatures climb into the mid 60s.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Police in Zebulon are on the scene of a shooting that killed a man. Investigators say 55-year-old Robert Cummings was shot along West Barbie Street around 1:30 this morning. He was taken to the hospital where he died. Police have not said if a suspect is in custody. And police in Durham are investigating 2 separate shootings there in the McDougal Terrace community. One man was shot and killed around 10:45 last night on East Lawson Avenue. And earlier in the evening, another man seriously hurt after a shooting on Ridgeway Avenue. Police have not said if either are connected. No word on any suspects. Next on Fox 50, which stores are open or closed today if you need to make a last-minute grocery run?
We do have wet conditions in parts of the viewing area right now. We have a cell that's about to move on up into Virginia, and then tapering off showers as we get through the next hour or two. It is going to be breezy this afternoon. We'll take a look at that coming up.
And we are following 2 developing stories. A man is dead after a shooting in Zebulon. In Durham, police are investigating 2 shootings in the McDougal Terrace neighborhood, one of them deadly.
All right, we have all the anticipation and excitement that comes with turkey trots. Runners getting ready to hit the pavement any moment now. Looks like they're off and running, getting ready for this year's annual turkey trot in Raleigh. What an event. Now, that's not today because there'd be more clouds and a little bit of rain out there. That was today, but 8:30 is the time, so they are right on it here. And there's several around our area, and they're all going to have some wet pavement to deal with. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Michelle McConaughey. Hopefully your Thanksgiving's off to a good start. Maybe people need to head out to the grocery store, get a couple last minute things. If you are going to do that, you're going to run into a little bit of rain right now. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner showing us where this rain is, but it's moving pretty quick.
It really is. Boy, these cells that started to develop are moving at about 30 to 40 miles per hour. So we started with one with some real heavy rain there across parts of Wake County. That was about 45 minutes ago. It's about to exit the viewing area. We'll zoom in here. Still some lightning with this. It's a real small cell that is just here in Halifax County, getting ready to move into eastern Northampton County, and then we'll will exit out of the viewing area. Behind that, we're really not looking at lightning. The lightning that you see here is the lightning that we've seen in the last 30 minutes, so it's not current lightning strikes. We do still have some showers in Wake County. Most of that rain has moved into eastern Wake County, so Rollsville, Zebulon, down into Johnston County, Clayton, Wilsons Mills, Smithfield, Andrew. You're going to see some of that rain, but we'll really start to see this tapering off pretty quickly here. Notice what happens by the time we get to 10 o'clock. We have some isolated showers along and east of I-95. And then after that, we're pretty quiet. We do have the chance, as our cold front comes through, of a little bit of light patchy rain developing along that front, but I wouldn't expect any severe weather. And behind that, we'll end up with clearing skies. Our best chance of severe storms was, at this point, looked like already over this morning. The Storm Prediction Center has taken the triangle out of that severe threat, but left Goldsboro, Fayetteville, southern Johnston County, Sampson County in that threat. Right now, we're looking at some gusty winds. Our winds coming out of the southwest, warm out there. We're steady at about 10 to 15, but gusting to almost 30 in Durham and Raleigh, 22 Rocky Mount, 22 in Southern Pines. As we head through the afternoon, our winds in the triangle are likely to gust to about 25 miles per hour, but we may see some gusts in our southeastern counties up to around 30, maybe 32 miles per hour. Look at Chapel Hill. It's wet out there. 62 is our temperature. We have that steady wind at 16, gusting to 29 right now. Some clearing this afternoon. Temperatures will be mild in the mid 60s, but it does stay breezy on up into the evening. We'll take a closer look at those winds coming up.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Breaking news this morning. Police in Zebulon are on the scene of a shooting that killed a man. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is on West Barbie Street. Kelsey, the shooting happened just before 1:30 this morning.
Yes, Michelle, police say 55-year-old Robert Cummings was shot here in his neighborhood. And I spoke with his mother and his son, and they say that several of their family members live in this neighborhood. And they say that this home right here is where he was shot, and they say that's his uncle's home. So you may be able to see a couple of tents here that are on the property. Investigators set those up a few hours ago, and there's been a heavy police presence here for several hours here on West Barbie Street. So police say they found Cummings on the property after he was shot and took him to the hospital where he later died. His mother, Cora Cummings, lives across the street from where the shooting happened. She says she heard the gunshots in the middle of the night.
I heard 2 shots, and I heard somebody say, I said, that sounds just like Robert.
So right now we're asking police if they have a shooter in custody. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Zebulon.
Another story we're following in the overnight hours. A man is dead after a shooting in Durham. The second shooting to happen near the McDougald Terrace community in less than a 5-hour span. This one happened at 10:45 last night in the 1200 block of East Lawson Avenue. Durham police found a man there who had several gunshot wounds. He died at that scene. Police say they are still investigating what led up to that shooting. And there was also another shooting last night on Ridgeway Avenue. A man had serious injuries out of that. The scene is just steps away from the initial shooting where a man was killed there. Police have not said if those 2 crimes are connected. We are working to learn more also about a barricade situation with hostages inside a home in Fayetteville. Investigators were at that home on Spinell Drive at 5 p.m. yesterday evening and into the early morning hours today. Authorities tell us it all began after they responded to calls of a domestic incident of some sort. Police say an armed man held several people hostage in that home. There are no reports of any injuries, though.
It is a Thanksgiving tradition for so many. Turkey Trot just kicked off in Raleigh. Here is a live look right now. You can see that tree just blowing in the wind there. Runners are burning off some calories before the big feast. The nearly 5-mile course brings runners down Ridge Road and back, and a portion of the road between Wade Avenue and Leonard Street is closed. What a morning for a Turkey Trot, my goodness. And also, Durham Rescue Mission will be having their annual Thanksgiving meal this morning. Let's see if we can find this. Durham Rescue Mission, there we go. It'll host its 50th annual Thanksgiving community dinner. More than 200 turkeys will be served to people in need. Doors open at 11 a.m. This is video of volunteers getting the feast ready last night. They were cooking all night long. People who show up today, they will enjoy a free hot turkey dinner, carnival games for kids, a grocery bag to take home, and also a special ticket drawing for prizes. The rescue mission is still requesting any volunteers to reach out and offer their time this morning.
And folks that are out there traveling for the holiday, they have seen the brake lights and the backups. AAA is expecting this to be a record-breaking Thanksgiving travel period this year, with 2 million North Carolinians hitting the roads. Now, yesterday, Wednesday, that's always the worst travel day leading into this whole holiday weekend. There were several crashes throughout the Triangle yesterday. According to Garner Police, the day before Thanksgiving has the most traffic violations of the holiday week.
Definitely significantly more cars on the road. And then with that comes accidents and speeding and other traffic violations.
And they had a speeding enforcement operation yesterday. Garner Police pulled over 190 people. Now, the Department of Transportation is taking a different look at all this. They are trying to keep the cars moving, so they put a hold on all their highway road work through this holiday. So that's through Monday, December 2nd, when everybody's getting back from their trips.
Yeah, it's going to help. Well, if you're trying to get that last-minute shopping done, you have some options this morning. Food Lion and Harris Teeter are open today, but they'll close early this afternoon, so don't wait too long. If you need to go to a drugstore, you can look up your nearest CVS or Walgreens online and check for that specific store's hours. Thanksgiving Day hours will vary based on the location. And the list of stores here on your screen, they are all closed today. Walmart, Costco, Sam's Club, World Market, Trader Joe's, just a few on that list. For more information about where you can shop today, go to WRAL.com.
Just a day left until the biggest shopping day of the year, and Amazon workers in more than 20 countries are preparing to strike. Workers plan to protest between Black Friday and Cyber Monday as part of what they're calling Make Amazon Pay demonstration. Swiss labor group UNI Global says the workers are fighting for better pay and to stop worker exploitation. Amazon says it's always looking to improve, but remains proud of its competitive pay, comprehensive benefits, and safe work experience. According to the website, there are 2 locations near us that plan to participate in this: the Amazon delivery station in Durham and the Amazon warehouse in Garner.
The Carolina Hurricanes took on the New York Rangers in a Thanksgiving Eve game at Lenovo Center, and it was exciting. It was a back-and-forth game all night. The Canes trailed 3-2 with 10 minutes left when Jesper Kotkaniemi scored to tie it up. Then on the power play, just 2 minutes later, rookie Jackson Blake scored to put the Canes ahead for good. They sent the Caniacs home happy for Thanksgiving with a 4-3 win over New York.
9 straight wins on home ice. And we're not stopping there. We have more free over-the-air hockey for the holidays for you. Tomorrow afternoon, Canes host the Florida Panthers. Black Friday matinee for you. And you can catch all the action on WRAL starting at 3 p.m.
Fayetteville police are warning people about a phone scam this holiday season. We'll have details on that coming up.
And a man on an important mission this Thanksgiving, how he is preparing to help people still recovering from Hurricane Helene in the western part of our state.
Welcome back on your Thanksgiving morning. Quite a bit of a gloomy start. I know Elizabeth mentioned this earlier, but again, that turkey trot at Wakefield High School in North Raleigh has been delayed by lightning this morning, so we are still waiting for that to get underway. But Elizabeth has a look at where all the rain is right now. The good news, Elizabeth, is that it's all kind of pushing out.
It is. Yeah, the lightning is over. Now, you'll see here on Dual Doppler 5000 radar, this trail of lightning strikes. These lightning strikes are about 30 minutes old. And so the only lightning that we're still seeing is way up there. We're going to take a look at that in a second. I wanted to show you some of the rainfall. We had a band of rain that just moved through Raleigh, a little patch of showers there. It's moved to Zebulon, Clayton, Smithfield at this point. So we should start to see things drying out a little bit. This is kind of the last push of the showers that we'll see, at least for a while. Here's a look at that little cell, weakening considerably, a little bit of lightning with that as it's just kind of clipping the northeastern corner of Halifax County, or of Northampton County, and moving right on out of our viewing area. So definitely not looking at a chance at least in the Triangle area, of any more severe storms. We've seen a line that stretches from South Carolina way down into the deep south along this front, but really not any severe storms popping up along it, which is great news. So as we get through the next little bit, expect that rain to exit the area. Notice that once we get to, say, 9 or 10, even 11 o'clock, we're not likely to see much rain redeveloping until the front comes through. And the front comes through around 1 or 2 o'clock, and you can see just a tiny shower that could develop down around, say, Clinton or Goldsboro, and we're all done. Then we start to see some clearing. The Storm Prediction Center did take the Triangle area out of that level 1 risk, but it still remains for Fayetteville, Goldsboro, Sampson County. On the models, it doesn't look like we have much of a chance of seeing a lot of widespread severe storms there, so that's definitely good news. As we go through the afternoon, really we're going to turn from rain just to some breezy conditions. Our winds are coming out of the southwest, keeping us warm today. We're steady at about 10 to 15, gusting to almost 30 in the Triangle, gusting to 22 in Southern Pines and Rocky Mount, gusting to 18 in Goldsboro right now. But it may be breezy through the afternoon, and the Triangle, we'll see some winds gusting up to around 25 miles per hour. We get into the evening, and those winds may die down a little bit. Fayetteville and Goldsboro, we may see winds gusting closer to 30, maybe 32 miles per hour. That's not likely to be strong enough to cause any problems, but it might toss around your inflatables or some of those holiday decorations that you have out in your yard. 62 degrees right now. We have rain tapering off around the Triangle, and again, shouldn't see a whole lot more, maybe an isolated shower or two. Temperatures climb into the mid 60s to low 70s for this afternoon. Starting tomorrow, it feels colder, and the weekend, real chilly, upper 40s to low 50s, overnight lows below freezing. As a matter of fact, starting on Saturday morning, all the way through at least to Wednesday and Thursday, our overnight lows are going to be below freezing. Nice long stretch, maybe 5-6 days below freezing temperatures. Saturday and Sunday morning, the wind chill is going to be down in the mid 20s, and the actual temperatures in the mid 20s starting Monday morning. So real chilly out there. We do bounce back up to around 53 on Wednesday when we do our tower lighting. We light all 3 towers on our Capitol Broadcasting properties, and it looks like it'll be nice and clear for that.
Thanks, Elizabeth. New this morning, a Wake County man is facing charges in connection to a shooting that happened during Shaw University's homecoming earlier this month. According to warrants, Carl West is being charged with having a gun on educational property and obstruction of justice. Authorities say he already allegedly had removed the gun used in the shooting from that crime scene and gave it back to the owner. The shooting happened on Person Street, November 3rd. One man was seriously hurt in that shooting. He's now recovering at home. West is out on a $100,000 bond. No one else has been charged in the shooting.
And one person is seriously hurt after their home exploded in Kentucky. It happened in the city of Paducah on Wednesday. Investigators say the owner of the home was lighting a furnace or heater when it exploded. The homeowner is being treated at a hospital in Nashville, Tennessee for severe injuries.
Newly released body cam video shows the moment a man's life was saved by an Oklahoma City police officer. Earlier this month, an officer was asked to check on a man who had been sleeping on a bridge, and when police showed up, that sleeping man turned over on his side and he fell over the ledge. The officer and a jogger who was going by were able to catch him, pull him back to safety. Police say the man was not hurt and was later returned to his family.
So lucky. Well, Fayetteville police are warning people about a phone scam this holiday season. According to the agency, someone is impersonating an officer trying to scare people into paying a fee to stay out of jail. Authorities say, although they do call victims of crimes, witnesses, and possible suspects, they would never call anyone to collect money.
A North Carolina man and his team are ready to get cooking for this Thanksgiving dinner for thousands of people who are still recovering from Hurricane Helene. Kathy Park tells the story about the chef on a mission.
One more of those. This is the last one. Here in eastern North Carolina, the small town of Seaboard is on a big mission for Thanksgiving.
I can't sleep because I'm just excited about what we're doing.
Spearheaded by native son and longtime cook David Burke, who felt a higher calling to help his fellow Carolinians still recovering from Helene.
We really are at about 5,600 meals that we're going to prepare to distribute out in the western part of the state.
The recipe called for love and grace.
Amazing grace.
This is what I can do for them. Then I'm going to cut an onion for them. You know, cry a little bit more for them.
And the committee.
Through social media and word of mouth,
I'm just glad I can help people out.
Operation Thanksgiving Blessings took off.
We have people sending us money from all over the country.
Strangers eager to help families still struggling this holiday season.
She was the absolute best teacher, mother, wife, sister, friend.
Kathy Brown's sister, Kim, was swept away in the floodwaters and never found. Today, they're finding comfort and healing in the generosity of Seaboard.
I think if more people were like David and others, I think our world would be a better place.
What do you hope people take away from what you're doing?
There are not many days in the world that are like this. A lot of people never get the opportunity to serve the Lord. And what I hope is, because of what we're doing here today, it changes their heart. If it does that, I think we did what we were supposed to do. And so just keep.
Even if they change just one, they are definitely doing what they're supposed to be doing. That was NBC's Kathy Park reporting. A lot of local organizations are making sure people in need get a nice meal this year. Helping Hand Mission held its Love Basket food distribution yesterday. These baskets have items like meat and canned goods and vegetables. People there were able to enjoy a Thanksgiving meal. Once dinner was over, those meals were distributed to people in the community. And the event also had music and games for everyone to enjoy.
Well, this is pretty cool. The Northern Lights could bring some added excitement this Thanksgiving and Black Friday. An incoming solar storm is expected to make the colorful auroras visible today and Friday. That's according to NOAA. They will most likely be seen in parts of the northern U.S. from New York to Idaho. And experts say the Northern Lights may be brief and faint, and your ability to see them will depend on the intensity of the solar storm. Of course, weather conditions like clouds will also impact visibility as well. Well, November and December are packed with fabulous family meals, and that means your fridge and freezers are likely going to be packed. 5 on your side's Keely Arthur shows us how to make room for everything.
Holidays are busy at the Hope House, which is why classically trained chef and Consumer Reports home editor Paul Hope has a plan to get prepped and ready for the big holiday meals.
About a week or two before the big holiday meal, I like to go through the fridge, stop